How would the healthy spouse's assets be protected? Is there a look back period? Is that valid in Texas? So this is in reference to utilizing a spouse's right of refusal in order to qualify a spouse in need for Medicaid. So the nice things, or one of the nice things about utilizing the spouse's right of refusal, is that the 5-year look back period doesn't apply to this. So there's not going to be, that penalty won't be involved if a spouse goes ahead and refuses to support the other spouse with their income and their assets, so therefore qualifying them for spousal refusal. So you don't have to worry about the 5-year look back period, so that's great. Now, as far as how the healthy spouse's assets are protected, that's going to come through estate planning. So that's why it's very, very vital that if you're considering this as a method, or it might work for you as a method to get one spouse qualified for Medicaid, you absolutely should meet with an attorney in your area who practices in elder law and who's very well versed in Medicaid, because there's going to be a couple aspects here. In addition to doing the spousal right of refusal and getting the assignment signed, you're going to want to make sure that you have a proper estate plan in place, or that you update an estate plan that you already have, because that estate plan is going to be key in protecting the healthy spouse's assets. And there's various methods that can be utilized. But just as one example, let's say that you get a very good estate plan in place while we have the healthy spouse who's still healthy. What if the healthy spouse passes away first? Well, one thing that can be utilized in the estate plan is a special needs trust for the spouse who is receiving Medicaid benefits. So that will continue to preserve the money. The money then goes to a trustee who is in charge of it and who can purchase items on behalf of the spouse who is receiving benefits. So the trustee has control of that money, and then that trust could, of course, also say who the beneficiaries of the money are after the other spouse passes away, the spouse who is receiving nursing care treatment. So that's one example, but really it's really going to depend on your specific scenario, what's going to be set up as far as what you can do with those assets and how they can be protected. But the nice thing about spousal refusal is those assets really just become the healthy spouses, or the spouse who doesn't need Medicaid. Those assets are going to be completely under their control, and they're not going to be regarded as assets for the spouse who does need nursing care. And again, it's not subject to the 5-year look back period. You don't have to worry about that when we're talking about this sort of arrangement between spouses. So as long as you do everything properly with the spousal right of refusal, which again, you're going to want to consult an attorney, and you set up the right estate plan, you can actually avoid a sort of spend down scenario that we often see with Medicaid. Now, as far as Texas is concerned specifically, you definitely should meet with a qualified attorney in Texas, someone who practices in elder law and who knows Medicaid and how Medicaid works in Texas. So I'm not going to speak as to Texas, but I hope this at least answers your question in general. And if there are any other questions about spousal right of refusal or Medicaid in general, and you're in Florida, please don't hesitate to contact our office. We're atCAUSE Law Office, the non-stuffy attorneys, and the link is in my bio.